On the Abyss is one of the James Cameron movies that are less known in the movie scene. This movie tells the story about an underwater accident in the middle of the Cold War between Russia and America. This accident leads into a bigger mystery in the bottom of the ocean that unreveal itself through the movie. The genre of this movie itself is a psychological horror, where the cast have to deal with problem deep inside of the ocean, while giving a vibe of a bigger mystery is about to be revealed. So this is The Abyss.
Roger, Cam 3, you're clear to launch.
Hang on, gentlemen.
During the height of the Cold War, the USS Montana, a U.S. nuclear ballistic submarine, sinks into an ocean abyss due to unknown circumstances. The U.S. Navy scrambled to the scene to rescue survivors and recover the nuclear missile on board before nearby Russian forces do. As Soviet ships and submarines head toward the area in an attempt to salvage the sub and its missiles, and with the hurricane moving in, the Americans decide that the quickest way to mount a rescue is for a U.S. Navy SEAL team to be inserted onto a privately owned experimental underwater oil drilling platform, the Deep Core, which they will then use as their base of operations. The platform's designer and chief engineer, Dr. Lindsay Brigman, is furious at the notion of her rig being commandeered for the mission. Her estranged husband, Virgil Bud Brigman, is the foreman of the platform. However, Benthic Petroleum, the rig's financier, has already agreed to cooperate with the Navy and has promised the rig's crew substantial bonus pay. The rig and SEAL teams prepare to investigate the submarine wreck. One of the SEALs shows crew members Hippie and Catfish a high-tech underwater breathing system that uses oxygenated fluid instead of air. The system allows its wearer to survive at extreme ocean depths without succumbing to the intense water pressure.
What are you doing?
Hey, no.
You're gonna kill her!
It's okay, I've done this myself.
Oh man, like, what are you just drowning her?
She's gonna be fine.
Damn rat's breathing that shit. That is no bullshit, hands down, the goddamnest thing I ever saw.
While searching the sub for survivors, the collective team encounters strange creatures they can't identify, the same beings that inadvertently caused the submarine to sink. Bud's partner, Jammer, the rig crew's biggest member, sees a strange, glowing creature and panics. When he tries to escape, he damages a valve on his breathing apparatus and begins to convulse. As the storm intensifies, Coffee and his team communicate with their commanding officer on the surface, who tells them that a Russian attack sub was detected in the area. Coffee and the SEALs take the rig's largest mini-sub without authorization. Using the sub's large mechanized arm, they are able to open a launch door of the Montana and extract one of the Tridents. However, the mini-sub they commandeered was the only vehicle capable of disconnecting the station's umbilical cord to its parent surface ship, the Benthic Explorer. The Explorer is in the middle of that hurricane and being tossed violently by powerful winds and waves generated by the storm. The ship's motion makes it impossible to disconnect the cable, which is jerking about with such power that it begins to drag the station along the bottom towards the Cayman Trough. The stress of the cable causes the derrick crane that supports the station to break away from the ship, momentarily stopping the station's slide towards the trench. The crane rolls into the chasm, and the rig is violently yanked towards the precipice, causing massive damage and flooding, killing 6 of the station's crew, 1 of the SEAL team, and injuring several of the surviving crew and SEALs. After the rig is nearly pulled into the chasm, several weird incidents such as a tentacle that made out of water and halo can morph into Lindsay and Bud face starting to appear. The SEAL team starting to take drastic measure by going down the trench into where the weird things originated. The rig crew is locked into the kitchen and left to dead by the SEAL captain. Lindy tries to reason with the guard when suddenly the doors opens and Jammer appears, having come out of his coma and taken the guard down. The SEAL captain tries to launch Big Geek, the mini-sub that's supposed to take him to the bottom of the trench. But his action is interrupted by the rig crew, and the SEAL captain sub sunk into the bottom of the trench while crushing under pressure. However, the warhead also falls into the trench, so Bud, being the most qualified and strongest diver left, dons an experimental diving suit given to him by the remaining SEALs. Bud's mission is to dive to the bottom of the trench, 2 miles down and deeper than anyone has ever gone before, and disarm the warhead before it detonates. Bud touches down and dismantles the bomb. He cuts the proper wire, disarming the bomb. However, when he checks the gauge for the remainder of his breathing liquid, he finds that he doesn't have enough to make it back to the rig. The NTIs find Bud as his oxygen runs out and bring him onto their ship, an immense, glowing city on the floor of the crevice. They provide him with air to breathe at his normal pressure and engage in silent communication with him. The NTIs are using their ability to control water to form 1,000-height tsunamis off the coasts of every continent on Earth, threatening to destroy humanity. However, when the NTIs had intercepted Bud's transmission "Love you wife," they decide to stop the storm and tsunamis, realizing humans do possess compassion for each other. The NTIs raise their entire city from the chasm, but it is so massive it lifts most of the naval fleet patrolling the area above the water, including the Explorer. The rig is also on the city, and everyone seems fine, including the underwater crew, who should have died without decompressing.
We should be dead. We didn't decompress.
Lindsay sees Bud emerge from the NTI city and they rush to each other. Greeting each other as a newlywed couple would, they engage in a passionate kiss. Yep, they were aliens. The ship that surfaces at the end was the heart of their colony. They drew a parallel between their submersibles and ROVs and how the aliens' versions acted in similar capacity. The aliens were stuck between a rock and a hard place. The humans were in the process of escalating to a nuclear war due to a Soviet satellite being destroyed. Why the first submersible zipped in front of the SSBN at the beginning, it was going home, and then the SSBN mud darting. This war would ruin the planet, poison the sea and kill the colony. This all plays out in the background as blink and you missed it moments. Cameron films can have high info density. At any rate, the aliens had a decision to make. Let the humans wreck everything or stop a war they had a hand in causing. They knew they terrified the humans, unfortunately they could not communicate with them. Watch the scene right after the water tentacle. The crew starts speculating about the aliens. They come up with explanations that turn out correct. The aliens were ready to let the humans blow up the planet and just haul ass in their ship. However, the drama between Bud and his wife caused them to reassess letting humanity eliminate themselves. But effectively sacrificing himself to save them also was a big factor. They knew that they terrified humanity, so they leveraged that fear in the form of a huge global tsunami to stop the incipient war. After that, they decide to announce themselves to humanity via surfacing their ship. The Abyss proved to be a pretty psychological movie about a mystery in the deep of sea, where the cast in this movie is facing a constant darkness around their place and the fear of the unknown in the deep of the ocean. This movie have a pretty interesting mystery that makes you wonder what is really out there in the deep, and I highly recommend it. We still have plenty movie like this. Click this link to watch the Imitation Game plot summary. This movie is starred by Benedict Cumberbatch, the same actor who plays as Doctor Strange in Marvel Universe. While you at it, hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe. You might even want to hit that bell and get notified every new video comes out. Alright, I will see you soon on the next video. Later.